thoughts on the market trend right now? It seems like I mentioned yesterday, it's really like a year-end effect. The market is really lacking conviction, and there's no market-moving information out there really.
Yeah, well, you're right. We are thought that the market will close up 20%, but it's looking tough. There's nothing out there to make investors go back to this market now. The banks still look cheap, but I think until AMCOM starts operation sometime next year, will we see those banks rebound. So I think that what investors are basically doing is packing their monies in bonds and money market rates, which have gone up significantly over the last 60 days. Right. So I don't see the market doing a lot more this year than it's just going to be flat with a lot of profit taking. Let's
focus on the insurance sector, or perhaps the worst performing sector in the market this year, and that's adding to the losses which you saw last year. Many of these companies are now trading at close to their nominal values, and I'm sure many foreign investors might be wondering what exactly is going on there. What's the story behind the insurance sector right now? Why is the performance so bad?
Well, that's a good one. The insurance sector this year is down 21%, and it was down last year as well. If you look at the sector, there's really maybe, there are 56 companies. Out of the quoted companies, maybe about 3 or 4 companies are really hitting the numbers, in some sense. Overall, the industry's been invested to the tune of about 320 billion naira. And the overall premium income is between 150 and 170 billion naira, which is just slightly about $1 billion. So the growth is not there. The numbers are not there. Premium income is not growing. If you look at the profit, the industry profit is about 14 billion. When you strip out the companies that made serious losses. Now, if you look at that, gives you a return of about 5%, about 4 to 5% return on investment. It's certainly not a good story. I think the Nigerian insurance industry, unfortunately, has not lived up to the potential that people thought will happen when consolidation took place in 2007. Right. Premium is not growing. Investment is huge, but investment income is not there. And a lot of the companies got overexposed to the equity market, equity and property. So they've taken a lot of losses. Right. And I'm not sure they have been able to think through how to come out of this, this problem.
It's really a quagmire for many of them.
Yes,
Let's talk about regulation. NICOM, we have heard, has put out some rules out there that insurance companies should limit their investments in subsidiaries to about 25% of their shareholders' fund. That we hear now is making some of these insurance companies begin to review their investment portfolio in subsidiaries. What impact do you think this is going to have going forward for the sector as a whole? Because there has been an argument that because the core insurance business has not been that successful, there might be a case for many of these insurance companies changing, or should I say evolving into like investment companies and looking into other sectors?
Well, I mean, that is what's happened, because like I said, the industry increased its capital to $320 billion. That's about, 320 billion, that's about $2 billion. But unfortunately, the market is not there. So what they basically did was to use these monies to invest in other areas. So in a sense, a lot of the insurance companies are almost like investment holding companies. If you look at a company like GT Assurance, they have shareholders fund of 12 billion. And a lot of it is, a lot of the profit comes from investment. The underwriting business is not profitable. It's small and it's not profitable. So what NICOM is basically trying to do is to say, hey guys, this is insurance business you invested in. Why don't you use the money to develop the sector? Now that's going to slow growth in capital formation in the industry. People are not going to put more money in the insurance sector because I don't see that money is generating any significant return in the core business. But on the bright side, I think it's the right decision that NICOM has taken, because it will then force the companies to review and decide whether they really want to be in the insurance sector or not. If you want to play insurance, then you've got to invest the capital in the sector. Overall, the impact will not be significant because some of the bigger companies, 25% of their shareholders' fund is about 3 billion, and if you exclude the subsidiaries like Life, which is core insurance business, I'm not sure they've invested widely in other areas, to that extent.
Let's talk about some of these players that have moved into the African continent right now. Continental reinsurance is one that obviously comes to mind there. Do you think that move is premature? Because we continue to hear about the insurance penetration levels in Nigeria being extremely low. I think about 1% of GDP, if not even less than that, compared to the likes of Kenya and, of course, South Africa. Do you think that move is premature? Do you think they are looking out of Nigeria when they should actually be looking in?
Well, I mean, you're right. Nigeria is 0.5% of GDP, GPI. In Kenya, it's 2.5%. South Africa is about 15%. However, Continental Re is a reinsurance company. And reinsurance is a global business. Basically, what reinsurance does is to look for businesses anywhere in the world. So that model is typical of reinsurance companies. But where the problem is that the direct insurance, the direct insurance companies going to these other African countries. Particularly when I have people going to Ghana, to Gambia, you know, the premium income there is so small that it does not even justify even the flight tickets of the executives going to look at those businesses. You know, the profit might not be able to cover that. But I think it's just a peer pressure, is a Me Too strategy where everybody is doing it, and some sort of clout where everybody wants to be called the group CEO. Right. So I think the insurance companies are better off focusing the business in the market locally to develop the market.
And in the light of that, very quickly, and if you can summarize there, how will you describe the winning model for insurance company in Nigeria right now? Is it more of looking for that underwriting profit, or continue that transition into an investment holding company? No,
I think the winning model has to be to focus a bit more on underwriting income. Today, custodian does 30% of PBT from underwriting income. Now, I'll say that the model will be to make at least 20% from underwriting and 80% from investment. Because when you focus a lot on investment income, then you get your fingers burnt. Because how do you make money in investment? You begin to play the equity game, you begin to invest in risky assets. So I think that the game should be to focus the business on underwriting profit and to deepen to build distribution infrastructure, which is lacking, so that you can sell more products. And I think finally, NICOM really has to think through the number. We have 56 companies. We really don't need more than 20 companies, given the size of businesses and even the potential we can see over the next 5 years.
So perhaps consolidation is somewhere maybe in the next 1 or 2 years.
Oh yes, oh yes, consolidation is the way to go. I certainly agree.
Okay, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your thoughts there.